Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bringing you a 2012 team preview for the Cleveland Browns. We're going to start with their offense to see what we can expect from the Browns this upcoming season.
Now, the Browns went ahead and got their quarterback of the future in Brandon Weeden in this year's draft out of Oklahoma State. And I'm a big Weeden fan. I can care less how old he is now. I can care less how old he's going to be on opening day. The guy can flat out play football. And if the Browns are going to have some success this year throwing the football, I would utilize a lot of the same type of passing plays, same type of sets and formations that were used at Oklahoma State. You can see he's a spread quarterback. He has that arm to drive the football down the field. Utilize that this year in Cleveland, and you're going to maximize his potential, his talent right off the bat. Now, I still like Colt McCoy. I've been a Colt McCoy fan as well. I still think he can be a starter in this league. I think the Browns gave up on him too fast, but at least they have two young, capable quarterbacks in this league. You need two guys. If they can't trade him, you have an awesome backup that can come in and fill for 2 to 3 games if there's an injury. And I'm also a big fan of Seneca Wallace they have back there as a backup. And quiet as kept, I think Thaddeus Lewis should be the number 3, but I know he's probably going to be headed to the practice squad, but he is another promising young quarterback. The Browns finally got themselves a bell cow running back, a true starter at the position, something that they haven't had since the Ernest Biner, Kevin Mack days. And the reason why I've compared Trent Richardson to Ernest Biner is because he does a lot of things very well. Not one thing particularly great, but everything exceptionally well. He runs well. He catches well. He can even pass protect well. So this guy gives you a lot out of the backfield, 3-down type of runner. And now they have depth, because you look at last year, Montario Hardesty, he returns back from injury. Chris Ogbonnaya comes back. So you look at the guys now in the backfield, which was a weakness, can now be a strength and probably the best unit on this offensive side of the football. Here's the biggest question mark, in my opinion, on the offensive side, the receiving corps. They had questions going into the offseason, and they didn't really address these things in the draft. I'm a big fan of Greg Little, and I'm already on record saying that Greg Little will have a better career than Julio Jones. Mark my word. This guy last year, yes, he had the drops, but you have to remember he was a running back predominantly in college, moved to receiver a couple of years ago, still learning the position, but you see the raw talent is there, especially after the catch. So now you got a guy that's a better receiver with the running back mentality after the catch. And I'm a big fan of Josh Cribbs. I honestly think he's their second best receiver on the roster, a guy that's always pegged as just a returner, but is a very solid wide receiver. Jordan Norwood should get involved more in the offense this year. He has a lot of promise, young guy out of Penn State. And they also drafted Travis Benjamin out of Miami, a speedster that they expect to be the playmaker they need outside. But I think the tight end position is a lot better off for Cleveland as opposed to the receiving corps, because you look at the tight ends, you got Evan Moore out there, you have Jordan Cameron coming back, finished strong last year, and they get Benjamin Watson to come back from the concussion problems he's had. So I look at this team being stronger at tight end as opposed to receiver. So you may see the tight ends get more utilized in the passing game early on until the receivers catch up and get up to speed. Browns want to improve their offensive line, but they already had a solid foundation in place, especially at the center position with Alex Mack. You look at the left tackle position, another all-pro, perennial all-pro in Joe Thomas, but they want to get better on the interior. But you look at what they had last year. Sean Laveio did a great job of playing what was essentially his rookie year. You also have Jason Pinkston. Pretty much the reason why they were able to let Eric Steinbach walk in the offseason, because he played exceptionally well. So the interior is fine. Now look at where they got better. John Greco is a guy that is very versatile, can play on any side of the line of scrimmage, also can play center. But they went ahead and drafted Ryan Miller out of Colorado, later rounds, but the big guy, Mitchell Schwartz out of Cal, the reason why they felt so strongly about him, taking him in round 2, is that he can come in right away and play right tackle and instantly upgrades the right side. So they're going to be able to run the football a little bit better this year and protect their investment in Brandon Weeden. The Browns have talent up front on the defensive side of the football. Jabal Sheard had a solid rookie season, 8.5 sacks. But they want to get better in improving the running game. The run defense struggled last year. They were 30th against the run, over 140 yards a game. So that was an improvement point coming in. Now they bring over Frosty Rucker from the Cincinnati Bengals, a guy that excels in stopping the run. So that should help out a lot. They take a big blow on the interior by losing potentially for the entire year Phil Taylor, who had another solid rookie season last year. But I like the ends they got back, man. They get back Marcus Bernard from injury, so that should help out the pass rush. Atiba Rubin returns again, another solid interior presence, but replacing Phil Taylor is going to be huge. They have to find a guy that can come in and hold their own at the point of attack like this young man did. But I'm impressed to see how Billy Wynn does. I may be in the minority here, but I think Billy Wynn went way too low. I like his production at Boise State. I think he's going to be a surprise rookie for the Browns and see a lot of minutes and provide a lot of pass rush opportunities on the interior. What a year DeQuell Jackson had for the Browns last year. This guy was a Pro Bowl player. You look at what he did well. He stops the run very well. He diagnoses plays very well. And his pass coverage is very underrated. So I think he's a complete linebacker. Now, there's going to be some depth issues this season for the Browns at the linebacker position. Now, you look at what's going to happen. Scott Fujita is going to miss a couple games due to the suspension. That actually may be a plus, maybe addition by subtraction. I think Kaluka Maeva may actually be better than Fujita anyway. So at least when Fujita returns, he provides some quality depth, or Maeva drops back down to a backup duty, but also provides that quality depth alongside Chris Gokun, who had a solid year last year. So the Browns frontline starters are decent. Backups, I have a concern. We'll see how rookie James Michael Johnson does. He can play inside or outside, so that provides some versatility. Clearly, the best unit on the defense was the secondary. These guys ranked second in the NFL last year in pass defense. They get back a healthy TJ Ward, who in my opinion is one of the better safeties in the league. Hard-hitting, strong safety, a guy that is an enforcer over the middle. Now, they have some question marks on the other side of the safety coin. You look at Usama Young is coming in as a starter. I think we need to start Eric Haig. I've seen enough of Usama Young to know that he is not the guy to be starting as a free safety. But cornerback Joe Hayden is another all-pro, one of the better young corners in the league. Now you have two corners on the opposite side competing for a position, and Sheldon Brown, the savvy 11-year vet, and Buster Screen, the young, fast, speedy guy, Chattanooga. So when you look at the competition right here for the number 2 corner between Screen and Brown, either way the Browns can't lose, and Brown actually may end up as a free safety. So I look for the Browns secondary to return again to one of the league's best. It's easy to be optimistic if you're a Browns fan due to the fact that you have your own version of the famed Dallas Cowboy triplets. You have a young running back in Trent Richardson, who's going to give you something you haven't had out there for many years. You have a young improving receiver in Greg Little. I think is going to be an explosive playmaker. And you have a young quarterback in Brandon Wheaton that provides a lot of opportunity for the passing game as far as having the arm strength to throw the football down the field in the strong winter months of Cleveland. So I like what they bring to the table. A young offensive line. The secondary is going to be good again, and the linebacking core should be improved. So if the defense can hold up their end of the bargain, the offense this year should be able to put up more points. I have to be honest, the Browns still have the same concerns coming into this season as they did last year. The receiving core, they had an opportunity to get better at the receiver spot. Yes, they still have an opportunity to sign some free agents, but right now Greg Little is the only threat in my opinion. Everywhere else there's question marks outside of the tight ends, but the receiving core is where I have the biggest concern for the Browns going forward. I have the Browns finishing 4th in the AFC North. I think they'll be improved because of the offensive line. The defense will once again be solid, and now they have a running game, so they're going to be in a lot of close ball games, and they have some excellent special teams. The passing game, I still have a concern, but if they add another veteran presence at the receiving spot, maybe a Plaxico Burress or someone like that, maybe even reach out to Tio. I'm just throwing it out there, but the Browns need someone opposite of Greg Little that poses a threat. Otherwise, this is a team that's probably a year or two away from competing in the AFC North.